Hi, I'm Amy from Abide in Torah. Today I want to tell you about the third major change in the direction of my life as it relates to Torah. This change came as a result of a video sent to me by a friend. She actually sent me an email that had a link for the YouTube video on it, and the video was called Truth or Tradition. When I told my husband about it, he wanted to watch the video right away, but I was dragging my feet. You see, my husband Todd had pretty much started disliking Christmas years before we were actually sent the link to this video, and his distaste for everything associated with Christmas had been growing for some time. But I was dragging my feet. So finally, one weekend, when our children went to visit their grandparents, he and I sat down to watch the video together. I watched Truth or Tradition in disgust and disbelief. In disgust because I couldn't believe that all of the fun things, the traditions, the special memories that I had of Christmas had their origins in pagan traditions. And I sat there in disbelief because I questioned everything that the teacher on the video said. I thought, well, where did he find out this information? Who does he think he is? And how does he know these things? And where did he get that information? And who says this anyway? And did he take that verse out of context? I'm kind of like that. I actually have to see the words for myself. So the next week, I decided to check out his information. I went back through the video and wrote down the verses that he quoted, and I looked them all up. And I read every verse that he quoted, and I read the passage around that verse, the entire chapter, because I wanted to be sure that he didn't take the verse out of context. And in a lot of cases, I read the chapter before and after that one as well. And then I did my own Google search. And I read every single page that pops up on that first list of pages. I read the information on every single link. I even made sure that I read sources that really were not religious at all because I wanted to be sure he hadn't chosen just some religious site to take his information from. And it was all true, every bit of it. And by the end of the week, I knew I couldn't celebrate this holiday anymore. I wouldn't be able to look at the things that I was decorating my house with without thinking about all of these pagan traditions. And worse yet, I kept hearing these passages of scripture reverberate in my mind. One of them was Deuteronomy 12, verse 30. And that passage tells us that we are not to be ensnared by what the people around us do. This passage was written during the time of Moses, and the Israelites were preparing to go into the promised land. And the Father was warning them to be careful that they were not ensnared by the people that would live around them, that they did not inquire or ask about how do you worship your gods? And then they would start doing those same things. And he said he didn't want this to happen. And then in Deuteronomy 18, verse 9, he basically says the same thing again. You shall not learn the ways of the people around you and do not do these things. Well, you don't have to be, real smart. All you have to do is look around you from the month of, I don't know, October through December and see that the world around us celebrates this holiday and the way they celebrate it. And in Deuteronomy, we were told not to learn those ways and not to do those things. And then Paul reaffirms this instruction in Ephesians 4, verse 17, when he tells the people that they are no longer to walk as the Gentiles walked in the futility of their mind. And even in Jeremiah 10, verse 2, we are told once again, do not learn the ways of the people around you and do the things that they do. The Father did not want to be worshiped the way the pagans worshiped their idols. He had his own specific ways for how things were to be done. And at the end of that week, that's what I had come to the realization of. Because I want to call myself a child of the King, and I want to be a daughter of the Most High. He alone has the right to decide how things are done in his kingdom. And I wanted to honor that. I wanted to do the things that he called me to do. And it was actually a friend of mine, as I was talking with her about this. She's the one who actually said to me, "So what are you holding on to? Are you holding on to your tradition, or are you clinging to your God?" And that's what I would ask you today. What are we holding on to? Are we holding on to those traditions, those things we've always done? Or are we really holding on to the Creator and the one true God? So I challenge you today. Don't take my word for it. Don't believe anything I've said about the origins of Christmas. Do a Google search for yourself. Find out, read the websites, look at how this holiday started and the ways that people celebrated this holiday. And you let the Father lead you to the truth. If you would like to watch the video that I was referring to, below we will have a link for that video where you can find it on YouTube. Again, it's called Truth or Tradition. There's another one put out by 119 Ministries, if you would like to look at their video, called Sunburn, that has even more information about the origins of this holiday. So I challenge you, let the Father lead you. Let him direct your steps as together we learn to abide in Torah.